Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. I'm Nick. Welcome to Angelonic Video Tutorials. Today, we will discuss a little bit about machine learning in .NET. It's beautiful, believe me. And machine learning in .NET with C Sharp, in .NET Framework or .NET Core. C Sharp as programming language, Visual Studio 2019 is necessary as an IDE. Integrated Development Environment, and ML.NET, that's the module of machine learning.NET who will be implemented into a solution. Basically, we will have a solution. Inside of a solution, we will have a project, and inside of the project, we will add ML.NET, machine learning.NET. Okay, so let's start to do something in this case. You can see here Visual Studio. I will start, I will create a new project. I will create a WinForms. It's easy to create a WinForms as a project. Okay, let's create a WinForms and say WinForms application with ML. Okay, and it's created. WinForms application, it's enough. I press enter by mistake. Okay, so let's add the module. You know, it's exactly like you add something like a form or a class in Visual Studio into a solution, into a project, but not add new item, add machine learning. It's here, machine learning. In this case, will appear something like a scenario, multiple scenarios, some local scenarios for test, and also on cloud, you know, on Azure, some other scenarios, for example. So in this case, you can add a scenario, choose a scenario. In my case, I will choose text classification. I will make a classification of text from something from a log of a server. Okay, it's with dummy data. Don't worry, it's nothing there, nothing real data. It's dummy data, but you can have some log of the server from your website, for example, or some log for your website, and you can take it, can implement it here, can train your machine learning, because machine learning means to train your artificial intelligence, artificial brain, to say like that. Let's explain a little bit. You have an artificial brain, an artificial intelligence equivalent to like a brain of a kid, okay, of a child. Must be trained to learn more and more and more to grow. Okay, in this case, you need to make a session of training or multiple sessions of training with some models of training to train that artificial intelligence, to make that artificial intelligence to understand what's going on. Okay, so in this case, this is machine learning basically. Is trained, understand what's going on, something dynamically, and after that will predict something for you. For example, in our case, we will do a prediction. Okay, so let's try to understand all this. If you have a kid, if you have a child, and you want to make your child to learn something, you start to train your child, to explain to your child. It's the same thing here. You start to make a training session to explain with some information what's going on for artificial intelligence to understand. Okay, so in this case, if we go in mathematical way, we have something like this. We have something like let's say it's Gaussian bell. This is basically Gaussian bell. You know, is starting from here, goes. It's training. It's maximum of training, and after that go down and zero again. So starting from zero, start training, have a maximum profit, to say like that, a maximum value of training, goes a little bit the same, and after that goes down to zero, and that's it. That's why it's like a bell, you know, or can be in minus if you use in mirror to see like a bell. Okay, in this case, what's going on basically, it's exactly like your kid. Have a kid, start from zero. I mean, he don't know nothing, or she don't know nothing, goes to start the training. It's go to learn a lot, have a maximum point of learning. More than this the kid can't understand in that moment, goes a little bit because it's okay. That's the maximum, and after that the kids start to be bored and say, father, it's enough for today, I'm tired, and I will go to play. It's the same thing here, okay? So in this case, we have some values, input values. We will insert that values from some file. In our case, will be a CSV file. It's a format of a file. Okay, can be TXT, can be also an SQL directly extracted from an SQL database. SQL means simple query language database. Okay, so in this case, we will use a CSV, we will take some data, input data, we will train the artificial intelligence, and after that we will predict what's going on, to see what's going on there. Basically, we have a log of a website. It's just dummy data. Dummy data means not real. It's some data for testing, okay? For testing session, okay? So in this case, we will take that data. Now we will train our processor. I have an Intel Core i7 processor with 16 gigabytes of my memory. Okay, so speed it's a lot of speed, and processor is good. It's 8 mega cache, so can go very very well. Okay, we have a local CPU. Basically, you can go also in cloud if you want. Choose another scenario from cloud, go in Azure, make a dedicated machine for ML, machine learning in Azure, and there you can predict more and more or more complex things. Okay, so in this case, we will go to the next step. We will put data as an input data. I mean, we will choose what kind of data we want. It's Wikipedia, blah blah blah, for some data to understand, as an input data. This is input data. That log what I said. Okay. We will choose what kind of column we want to be predicted. Let's say column 1, sentiment. What sentiment is there? If it's rude or it's not rude. If it's bad, so bad or it's not so bad. It have two things. How many people was rude and how many people wasn't rude. Basically. So the prediction will be in the future. The computer will predict how higher is the risk someone to be rude on my website, for example. Okay, so in this case, we insert all this data. We have sentiment and the details of sentiment, the text of the sentiment, what was there. Next step is to train our artificial intelligence. We can start with 10 seconds. Probably is not enough to be trained this artificial intelligence. Let's start to train. And probably it's not enough. It's just in one training. Finalizing the model is one model. Can be training is complete. Can be more than one training session. Can be. You see here was a one model. It's average perception. If you put 60 seconds, will be multiple models and so on. Okay. Basically, training results is this. Accuracy is 76.1%, so it's more than 70% is good. It can be taken as a good answer. A best model chosen automatically by the system is average perception. Okay. Training time in 7.79 seconds, basically under the 10 seconds. Has been trained in less than 10 seconds. Okay, model explored, just one. If we put 60 seconds here, will be probably 4 or 5 models. Types of trainings, that means models. I mean, ways of training for the artificial intelligence. Okay, next step. Basically now, what we have here, we have to evaluate, because till now we just trained our artificial intelligence. Okay, now we need to use that input data. That sentiment, we have sentiment text and other kind of sentiment, and we will use that part to evaluate, to predict. Basically, we have here, and here we will have the results of prediction. So basically now machine learning will predict for us how high is the risk, for example, someone to be rude in your website? Let's predict. And let's see here the results. 99% based on input data, what data has been inserted to be evaluated. 99% is 1. 1% is 0. That means 1 is yes, 0 is no. Okay? So yes or no. Yes, 1, 0, no. I mean, it's true or it's not true. So 1 is true, 0 is not true. So in this case, it's very true. Someone will be rude. Like you can see based on sentiment text. Dude, you are rude. Upload that picture back or else, and so on the text. Okay. So in this case, we see a clear result will be a high level of risk. Someone to be rude on your website or blog or whatever, in this case. What we will have more than this, okay, we determined everything. We have input data. We have also data for training. Now we have a result. So we have a resolution for that. What will be the next step? The next step will be to implement everything in your solution. Because till now it was in this wizard mode for ML.NET, I mean for machine learning.NET, to do everything for you, but will be more than this, generated in C# for you. So if you are a C# developer, I mean a .NET developer, C# VB.NET, you will see in C# generated the code for you. It's equivalent of how code is generated in back when you use business intelligence. If you are a BI developer, then you don't need to use too much code there. Basically no code, just drag and drop, data flows and so on. Okay. So in this case, there everything will be generated in back for you. Here will be generated and implemented, inserted in your solution for you. Why? To have it and to change it and to grow your solution if you want, and so on. Basically, consume the model now. I will add to solution, and you see here we have Windows Forms and applications ML console application. Basically, this is the application now. Okay, and here we have the models. By the way, in C# is used that type of MVC. It's not quite an MVC. It's based on model. It's data model based. Exists one type of model based database. This is model based. I mean, it's based on the model. And if you go back in MVC and you are a .NET developer who uses ASP.NET MVC, for example, in this case you know already. Model is just a class with some properties. Okay. In our case, we have two models, one input and one output. If you check one input, basically it's our sentiment text, and log it in. Was 3 columns in our CSV file. If you don't believe me, look here, generated automatically the text for this is generated automatically for it's like a comment for technical help, to say like that. Okay, so in this case what we have here, you can see gets or set sentiment, because sentiment is summary. We have a value, the sentiment. Okay, it's get set, so also get, also send from property. Okay, the same in all other properties. What is the next property? The next property is the sentiment text, details of what was there. 1010 was sentiment. I mean, to know again if was rude or not, and based on that values, machine learning module predict very accurate. Will be a high level of risk to be someone to be rude on your website or on your blog or whatever. And here we have the login. It's another column in the file, in that CSV file. All these are input data based on the model. This model can be with an SQL, not with a CSV. I mean, reading data not from a file, reading data directly from a database. So in that case, this model, this class, will have in back an entity framework. An entity framework is an ORM. It's object related mapper, who let you to have everything in C# and create for you everything in back for to communicate very nice with SQL. Okay, it's not necessary to do select the star from whatever is the database, or whatever table where something is equal with something. That's SQL. No, you can do C# in C# with entity framework, something like the name dot add, do something, the name dot save, and it's easy. It's very easy in entity framework. We will do also, I will discuss all that with you about entity frameworks in another video tutorial. Till then, we are here to machine learning. So you can see here we have a summary here in output. We have a summary, classification as what is, and also micro accuracy and macro accuracy, duration and iterations. One iteration can be more. If it's more iteration, it's better because it will be more accurate. Okay, if you have time and you want to increase the complexity, perfect. Do it in 180 seconds, for example, for training. In that moment, you will have not just one model of training. Probably you will have 10 types of models, 10 models of training. And also when we'll prediction will be more complex than this. So basically will be more than one iteration, probably 10 iterations, and duration will be higher, correct, with this. And will be macro accuracy and micro accuracy to detect between these if it's under 1. That here, if it's under 1 but very high level to 1, means root. It will be root. If it's lower than 1 but very close to 0, to say like that, it's different. So depends by the part of error, to have in between this you have an average error. I mean an area of error, some, in our case probably area of error is 0 point something, so basically it's more than 70%. If it's more than 70% accuracy, that means can take it as an answer, a cool answer, a good answer. In our case was 76 point something, so in this case it's more than 70%. Even if it was just one iteration, was perfect, was good. So in this case we can take the answer when we predicted. After that, we predicted what will be root or not, and the system says yes, will be root, probably will be root in the future also. So in this case we can take it and say, whoa, in the future probably we'll have someone who will be root on our website or our chat or our blog or whatever. Okay, good. What we have here basically has been generated. After that, the code has been generated for C# for our solution, generated project. It's a project generated here with a model, and another project for console, because we have our project. This can be an empty solution, can be an empty project. But anyway, when you add machine learning and generate, so you will consume, after all that steps, you will consume data and everything as steps, and machine learning as a module. When code will be generated, then will be created 2 projects. First project is this, and second project is for models. I said we have model input, we have model output. Basically prediction and score. This is for a model to see. This is for a model. Look, this is prediction for prediction part. It's a property, and this is another property. Why is nice to have this? Because you can change. You can add another property if you want here. For example, like prop, and do property blah blah blah, and here you can use it if you want. It's another property. Very, very easy. Basically you can change the game. You can change the game if you want, and you can see the details, reactions or errors. It depends how you change there. If you change and it can't be take it like that and need to be trained again, you need to take step 0, 1 and so on. I mean, train everything, use input data, and after that go to prediction. So depends. It's C#. You can do it also in C#. That's the beauty. You can do it in C#. And of course, here you can see basically is the builder, the core, how it's done. You know, basically here is the module of machine learning. Here is the engine, to say like that. Okay, model builder is here, and you can see generated code directly for you. For example, like a public static void print multi-class classification folds average matrix, and here basically based on this can be generated other type of models. Okay, so this is just a simple part. The same I will show you with auto generation comments. Look, print the multicast classification folder average matrix, basically having cross results, the cross value results, so on. Basically also in C# you can see all details and how you can use machine learning after that and change the part of this to do something, to do some predictions actually. Okay, and here basically is the program, the main program, who do something like just go there, run models and do something. Can you see? Put in console, basically sample data, sentiment, root is taken already, generated because has been in models, it's generated model, you know, and we have been model input, take it here, it's doing something like that. The model output is after goes in this and in model builder, in all these two when start to go, because here you see we have Windows Forms model, and because here in builder we have up here system is the from system start everything is on it. Okay, collection generic, that standard input output standard link you in case of SQL ML. We have here Microsoft ML machine learning is used. If you want to see, is here dependencies, and here you can see frameworks, or you can see packages, or you can see projects. .NET application ML 1.5.2 in my case is here, and data, ML data, to do something with the data, because without that what you'll do, just see something is running, you can't. Okay, so I also have model, because it's in this part, it's model application, machine learning model, to take the input model and go send data and output model. Okay, so this is in general, it's very easy and very concentrated, everything in just short version, and nice way to develop software also for machine learning. It's very nice and very easy to develop software for machine learning in this method, in this way, using machine learning as third party, because basically third party, even is from Microsoft, is third party. When we had just a simple Windows Form application, and after that we implement more machine learning in this. So basically we have Microsoft.ml, it's Microsoft.machine learning, Microsoft.ml.data is Microsoft machine learning, data from machine learning, to use data input and data output, I mean to take data, process information and go outside, and also to take a model from somewhere. Model is based on equivalent to understand of MVC, you know, it's model based data. So in this case you can use a class with some properties, and that's a model. Okay, good. So it's very easy to understand all this, very easy to understand all this. So thank you very much for your time. I think was a good time to understand also machine learning. And till next time, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Nick. See you. Bye bye.